Lecture 2. For the following items, you will listen to a lecture about fast food. As you listen, mark the alternative that answers each question or completes each statement. Before you listen to the lecture, you will be given 1 minute to look at the questions and the alternatives.
Are we ready? Let's start. Today's topic is fast food. People in different parts of the world eat a variety of fast food. Germans eat sausages, Chinese eat rice, and Americans eat hamburgers. But did you know that Americans do eat a lot of hamburgers? In fact, the average American eats 3 hamburgers a week, together with 4 orders of French fries. Did you also know that we, as Americans, eat less now than we used to when I was your age? In 1976, an average American ate 94 pounds of beef per person each year. These days, we eat 68 pounds per person. From 94 to 68, that's quite a reduction. But just because we eat fewer hamburgers does not mean we eat less fast food. In fact, we eat more fast food than ever before. Here is some food for thought. In 1970, Americans spent $6 billion a year on fast food. By 2001, that number had increased to $110 billion. $6 billion to $110 billion in 30 years. Whew, think about it. Imagine that perhaps Americans spend more money annually on fast food than they do on university fees, personal computers, and new cars. In fact, we spend more money for hamburgers, pizza, chicken, and French fries than we do for movies, books, magazines, newspapers, DVDs, and CDs combined. How many of you have a car? Lots of you, I see. I bet you thought that was the most expensive item. Now, how many of you often order pizza delivery or eat fast food on the weekends? Most of you. That doesn't seem so expensive, does it? But do you know that over the course of a year, you'll spend more money on the food than what you paid for that car? In a way, it's not surprising that we spend more money on our basic needs, such as food, rather than on luxury items like cell phones. After all, we have to feed ourselves. However, Americans spend more money not just on any food. It is fast food that they spend most on. Is this healthy? Probably not. Maybe you've noticed that Americans are getting fatter. And I don't mean just a little plump. We're getting overweight. America has the largest percentage of overweight people among all developed nations. Did you know that more than half of all US adults and 25% of our children weigh too much? This is a crisis. Think of it like a river. It keeps raining and the river keeps rising. At first, no one is very worried, but the water keeps rising and rising. Then it overflows its banks and floods the city. Suddenly, we have a crisis. Why is being overweight a crisis? Well, for one thing, it's killing us. This is the main problem that it creates. When this happens, our hearts and other organs have to work harder, and they break down sooner because of the stress it puts on our body. It is the number 2 cause of death in America today, after smoking. A few years ago, for a documentary, a man decided to eat at McDonald's every day for a month at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Before he began doing this, he was in almost perfect health. 30 days and about 40 kilograms later, he had heart problems and trouble breathing. His liver and kidneys became weak. His doctor said his liver was similar to an alcoholic's. Interesting, huh? Okay, although this case may be considered extreme, it's scary to learn that about 20% of McDonald's customers really do eat there 3 times every day. So, what we can assume from